welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and if you are new here, hello, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing for lots more diamond painting content, and if you are back, as always, welcome back. Today I am here with another review of one of my recently completed diamond painting kits. This is the adorable Snapdragon Sprite from Distracted by Diamonds and the artist Mitzi Sato-Wiuff. And in these post-review videos, what I like to do is really do kind of a deep dive on the experience of working on a diamond painting kit, take you through kind of things that I loved, things I didn't list, and the stats, and hopefully just give you a really solid look at a canvas so you can decide both if this, specific kit and image is something you'd like to work on for yourself, or just, maybe if you want to take a look at the shop in general and like what features they have to offer. So if you're interested in seeing other completed diamond paintings that I have reviewed here on my channel, which there are a ton from a wide variety of different diamond painting shops as well, I will have a playlist linked in the description box below this video that you can click through and, take a look, and hopefully I've covered whatever shop you're curious to hear more about. So what I have here is my diamond painting logbook, my paper logbook, which actually I believe this kit is going to be the last page that I'm going to fill in with a kit on this book, in this book. So this logbook technically has 168 pages, but I think for a number of reasons it's not actually going to showcase 168 finishes. This was number 163. Here's the stats, by the way. It's 52 by 78 centimeters. It has 40 colors in it, and it has round diamonds. And I started this on May 2nd and finished it on May 11th. So 14th finish for this year, 163rd of the whole time I've been diamond painting. And then here's some of the things I loved. Here's the original, here's the original artwork. And then I, make notes if necessary. So yeah, stay tuned. I think I'm going to try to do a flip through of my whole logbook at some point. It's been a labor of love that's gone on for just over 4 years now, and it'll be fun to flip through it together. So this kit, if you kind of get to take an initial look at it here, it is really adorable. It has a lot of colors that I personally really enjoy. The color palette of the pinks and the aquas and mints is very much my style. I feel like if you take a look at it, even from a distance, that you can tell that it is maybe a little bit more on the computer charted side. You can see a little bit more confetti, and there's less of like really sharp, clean lines, which is completely fine. This is completely subjective as far as what rendering style or art style you personally prefer. I do think that it does come together so nicely. It looks good through a camera lens, and it looks good when you look at it from what we call a viewing distance. So if you didn't know, diamond paintings are intended to be viewed not from, 6 inches from the canvas while you're working, or a foot, or even 2 feet, but rather several feet back, and where you can actually see the whole image and, imagining how far away you might be from it if it's hanging on your wall. And so that's important to take into consideration, I think. It's been a while since I worked on a Distracted by Diamonds kit. I think it had been about a year, and that was a shame. I was really wanting to make sure I got to work on a Distracted by Diamonds kit this year, because it's a small shop that I have loved since I started diamond painting, and I did a lot of Distracted by Diamonds kits back in 2020. And I love artists like this one that they license with. And yes, all their artwork is legally licensed, which means they're both getting the permission of their artists and fairly compensating them as well. I was just looking on their website earlier today, and it's their Etsy storefront, and they had still a really wide variety of artists in there, including some others that I love, like Greta Oleski, and was there Puffy Gator in there, among others, and some old masters. So I don't think I saw this exact kit in stock, but check back the way that they do restocks on their website. I'm sorry, I said that again. Their Etsy store, which is, I believe that the way that it'll come up on Etsy is for the store PaddyWaxx. PaddyWaxx and Distracted by Diamonds are the same company, owned by the same owner, Robin and Ben. And that's where you can kind of see what kits they have available. And they do frequently kind of just do restocks of small amounts at a time. So I actually really love their accessories as well. Their PaddyWaxx was the first wax alternative that I tried, and I still use it to this day, actually. It's in my mix of waxes that I use. But back to this kit. So while this exact kit wasn't in stock when I looked today, that doesn't mean that it won't be back in stock soon. This is also a kit that I worked on as part of my personal project and little diamond paint along for myself throughout the year, which this year, 2024, is the year of the dragon in the Lunar New Year. And so I had thought it would be really fun to try to work on one dragon diamond painting kit each month. And this was all things spring and seemed very perfect to work on during the month of May. And I also have a very nostalgic attachment to... I was looking to see if, oh no, okay, I thought that was a diamond that had come off. No, it's just a little something that got in between the drills. Sorry, I have a nostalgic attachment to Snapdragons, the flower, because they were my favorite flower when I was a kid growing up. My mom always had them planted in our gardens, and I love just very carefully opening up the petals to see inside and then seeing them kind of snap back together. So yeah, this was the kit that I bought, I think, last year, and knew that I definitely wanted to work on. I think the dragon is just so adorable. So other things that I loved, I really liked the drill quality on this particular kit. Let me show you as well. I had tons left over in all of these colors. I had tons and tons left over. Was not in danger of running out of any of these colors at all. The empty containers you see were overflow, where I had more of this color than would fit in here, so I spilled into here, and more of this color than would fit in here, and so this case also had this color in it too. So that's why those are empty. But yeah, this color palette was just so pretty. You can see here that the symbols that are used are all alphanumeric. They're round drills. There were no special drills included. However, there was a set of optional enhancement drills that you could buy and add on. And I believe that Robin actually had sent that back to me as a gift, but I didn't end up putting them in myself when I was working on this kit. I kind of just kept them to see if maybe I might change my mind and want to add them in later, but I really wanted to work on this just as charted and see what I thought of it, because I don't know, it's just kind of the way that I wanted to go about this particular kit and doing a review with you guys. But she does offer that with some of her diamond paintings, where there are optional add-on enhancement packs where you can get things like ABs or crystals and that sort of thing, and she tends to have suggested enhancement packs that you can get for a particular kit as well, which I think is really nice. So it takes out some of the mental work that you have to do to figure it out for yourself. But yeah, no complaints about the drills, and I like that I had plenty left over. That's always nice to not have to worry about running out of diamonds. The canvas material, this is kind of a stiff material. It's just bent because it was hanging over the edge of my table just now. The material is, I don't know what you would call this, but it's not that short lint, soft lint that's really popular right now with a lot of small shops. This is like, I don't know if that's an oilcloth or like a polyester, but I do like this material. I think that it is laying flat well. It's been rolled up for a couple weeks, just waiting for me to unroll it and do a review, and it laid flat with no fuss whatsoever. And yes, so I like the canvas material, and the glue I thought was pretty good too. But when I unrolled it, there were a couple of diamonds that I noticed that kind of acted like they were wanting to lift off the canvas. And I don't know if that's the glue, or maybe I put down drills that were, concave and kind of like scooped out on the inside maybe. I'm not sure. But the drills don't appear to have like visibly shifted, even in areas where there's color blocking. So I think that probably is just a glitch, but I did notice it when I unrolled it to do this particular post review. So if I were going to hang this like in my home where it might see a little bit of, I guess, wear and tear, I don't know if I'd even say that, because I guess if I were going to hang it and where it's going to be, wrapped up and stored away carefully, I might seal it. I have a video on how to seal a diamond painting, how I like to do it, but just to give it that extra layer of protection, I might do that. But since I am planning to carefully store this away, I probably will hold off on sealing it, because once you seal a diamond painting, it does get very difficult to roll, if not impossible, depending on how heavy a layer of sealant you do. So I'm not sure. I'll report back to you on that, maybe in my month in review video, what I decide to do, but I'm leaning towards not sealing it and just packing it away carefully. Now I want to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the things that I didn't necessarily love about this kit, just in my own personal experience, and you can absolutely disagree with me and take or do with it whatever you like. Take it always with a grain of salt that this is, just my experience. But there were some incredibly similar symbols on this kit, and I am one that I'm always kind of like, sometimes I'll see people share about things, they'll be, oh, these symbols are too similar. And I'm like, but they're really distinct. Are they really that similar? But in this one, let me show you. This just hurt my brain a little bit. And it was these three. So I had lowercase b, d, and q, and they were always right around each other because it was a lot of the color shading in the elf's skin or the sprite's skin and some of the light colors in the petals too. And so they were always really close to each other. And honestly, what the real problem I had with it was just that it just hurt my brain a little bit to make sure that I was seeing them clearly. So I believe, I'm like 90% sure. I took a picture of an example of this, and I'm going to put it up on the screen now if you want to see what this looks like on the canvas and see what I mean. A suggestion I would have for you, if you're working on a kit, whether it's this kit or any other kit, and you're finding that you are struggling with symbols that are similar and you are, it's easy to mix them up, that's completely understandable. It really is. And my suggestion would be to make sure that you have your containers, like when you go to get a color or a symbol. So if I'm looking for, symbol B, but let's say I'm working on this canvas sideways to reach it as opposed to right side up or even upside down. I'm going to take this container and I'm going to orient it the same way as I am working on the canvas, that is oriented the same way as the symbols I'm looking at. And then if I ever feel like I'm just having a hard time telling if I am placing the right color, I can just look up and remind myself, okay, yes, even upside down, this looks like a lowercase q, but I'm working on the canvas upside down. And so this matches the way that I am seeing the symbol on the canvas. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But that has been really helpful, that kind of idea and technique, I guess. But props to them. They did try to avoid other really similar symbols that could have been a problem. I didn't really run into because, they didn't include a letter, an uppercase B at all, because often B and 8 can be mixed up. However, we did have a 5 and an S. Thankfully, they were different colors, so I was never worried about mixing those two up. But, they didn't do both an 8 and a B, so I wonder if, the manufacturer might consider eliminating other really similar symbols. I don't know. But that's just an observation I wanted to point out, so you can keep an eye out for it. Another just kind of personal thing that I wasn't totally sure of with this kit in general was I just felt like maybe there were some areas where there was maybe like unnecessary confetti that didn't totally do the artwork quite, it didn't elevate the artwork necessarily. There was kind of, some random dots here and there, like these really stuck out to me a little bit. There was also a lot of kind of bright oranges in the sprite skin, and this is kind of characteristic of computer rendering, and I may go back and peel those bright orange colors off and just fill in skin tones. It's, when you stand back and look at it, I feel like your eyes do pull it together and the camera pulls it together. But especially seeing it in person, especially when I get close up, I just kind of go, why is there orange here? Why is there orange above her eyes? It just is it's a little bit stark. And so I wonder if changing that out for a skin tone might be a better fit. So that I wasn't as sure of. And that leads me to something else I do want to mention, that I feel like I want to give this as a disclaimer almost. But so with Distracted by Diamonds, something that I've noticed is that I think that they have changed manufacturers or rendering styles or something at some point. The main reason that I say that is because there was a kit I worked on a couple of years ago from them called Valentine Kitty by the artist Puffy Gator. And a friend of mine worked on the same kit that they had purchased at a later time, the same artwork, and the rendering style was very different. Where mine was, I thought, it had a lot of clean lines and like a lot of the unnecessary confetti was really eliminated. It felt like very deliberately charted. This other person's was more confetti heavy, and I don't know for sure at all. I'm not going to try to say I know what process the company is using, but it seemed kind of like maybe it was more of that kind of computer charting style. So I know this is just the name of the game with small businesses, and they have to make changes, or manufacturers shut down, or their options change. But I want to make sure what's important to me is that you guys know that there can be some variation. But I bought this 1 year ago, and given that it is pretty confetti heavy, I kind of wonder if that means that this is the current manufacturer. And there are a lot of things I do like about it, like the canvas material and the glue and what kind of rendering style it is. Whether you like that's going to be completely up to your own personal taste. I just wanted to mention that, like I said, I just am not sure that they're, I want to give a disclaimer that if you were to buy this exact same kit when it restocks and it is slightly different, I do apologize. I just don't have any control over that myself. I think that they usually put a mock-up render, at least I have seen that with some kits in the past, a mock-up render on the Etsy listing for their kits. And so hopefully if you take a look at that, that will give you an idea of what to expect in terms of what the rendering of the kit you are purchasing is going to be. So just wanted to mention that and kind of give that disclaimer, because that's come up in a few of my other review videos and unboxings is, people have watched videos that are a couple years old or a few years old, and they go and make a purchase based on that exact, review, and it's not the exact same product. And I completely acknowledge that can be frustrating. And I'm hoping that maybe some of the solutions I am trying to offer, like some ideas to how to kind of check and see what you are getting, I hope that those will help a little bit and help put your mind at ease. I think that this is the current, manufacturer and style as of the time of this posting. So I think you could also always contact the shop owner if you wanted to get more information before making a purchase as well. So anyway, overall thoughts, my overall experience of working on this one, as much as I just gave that big old disclaimer, I actually really enjoyed working on this kit. When I think about, was it a slog to work on? Not at all. Did I look forward to working on it? Did I find myself reaching for it? Yeah, pretty often. I mean, I completed it in just over a week, and given the size and the amount of confetti, I feel like that kind of should speak for itself that, yeah, it was definitely a kit I was enjoying working on and reaching for it. The nostalgia factor was a big part of it for me. The color palette was a huge part of it for me. And I am happy with how it turned out. And I was loving watching it come together, especially like the cute little dragon and all the beautiful colors and the petals. It brought me a lot of joy to work on. And that is a big gauge for me on how I actually feel about a kit is, did I want to work on it, or was I actively avoiding it? And no, I wanted to work on this one, and it makes me happy looking at it finished. So for me and the features that this has, it's a win for me. And I hope that this review gave you a nice overall look at this canvas and a look at what the different features are that Distracted by Diamonds has to offer, that hopefully this helps you make a decision if you're looking at making a purchase too. I know that for my international friends that the shipping costs can be prohibitive. I completely sympathize with you, and I wish that small shops had better options. They're not making money on shipping. It's just the cost of shipping overseas, especially these big diamond painting kits, these long packages and stuff, just gets astronomical, and they aren't able to do the same things that like bigger companies are able to do. But you keep an eye out on D-stashes maybe. If you live in Canada, there's some Canada D-stash groups and whatnot. That could be a way to go, and hopefully this kind of let you know if this is a company you want to snag from a D-stash maybe. So you guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm going to have some helpful links in the description box of this video if you're interested to take a look. Please subscribe if you want to see more diamond painting content from me, including future reviews of completed diamond painting kits, and let me know what your thoughts are. Have you worked on a Distracted by Diamonds kit lately, one that you've purchased recently? And what's your own experience been like? I would be really interested to hear. Thanks again for watching, my friends. I appreciate you and hope you have a day and a week that's as fantastic as you are, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.